Today, we're going to dig into something truly incredible, the often overlooked technological genius of ancient Sri Lanka's Rajarata civilization. We're talking about feats of engineering that are frankly stunning, even by today's standards, let alone thousands of years ago. So let's jump right in. Okay, right off the bat, I want you to look at these two bricks. One was made pretty recently. The other one? That was made during the ancient Anuradhapura era, something like 2,000 years ago. Now, yeah, the size difference is pretty obvious, but trust me, that's not the most amazing part. The real question here is which one is actually the better piece of engineering? Which one is stronger, more durable, and better for building massive structures that are meant to last for millennia? The answer? It's probably not the one you think. That's right, it's the ancient one. The story of Rajarata's genius really starts from the ground up, with the very foundation of their empire, these astonishingly advanced super bricks. You see, the ancient bricks weren't just bigger. Their engineering was on a whole other level. They had incredibly low water absorption, which made them super resistant to the elements. And it was that strength that allowed them to bear the colossal weight of stupas, these massive dome-like structures, like the famous Ruan Welasi. And if you want proof of just how advanced they were, get this. When conservationists tried to renovate the Jatoyawana stupa back in the 1990s, they discovered that modern brickmakers couldn't easily replicate the quality of the originals. They actually had to build a special kiln just to try and match a 2,000-year-old standard. Just think about that. But their expertise wasn't just limited to clay and earth. No, this civilization was quite literally forged in fire, with a mastery of metal that was every bit as impressive. They had this really efficient process for pulling iron right out of natural rock. But the real stroke of genius, the part that is just so clever, is step 4. In places like Samana Loeva, they strategically built their furnaces to harness the power of the seasonal monsoon winds, creating a natural bellows to keep the fires roaring hot. And here you can see a reconstruction of one of those very furnaces. It's an incredible testament to their deep understanding of their own environment and their ability to weave natural forces right into their industrial technology. And make no mistake, this wasn't just some backyard operation. Ancient inscriptions tell us about a whole society of specialists. They worked with everything: iron, bronze, copper, silver, gold, and even had specific names for their craftsmen: kabara for blacksmiths, thumbara for coppersmiths. This points to a highly organized, very sophisticated industry. And the result of all this mastery wasn't just strong tools and building materials, it was also breathtaking artistry. Just look at this exquisite gold jewelry that was found at sites like the Abhayagiri Temple. This is the work of true masters, and it reflects a wealthy and incredibly skilled civilization. So you've got super bricks and advanced metalwork. What do you do with all that? Well, you build some of the most spectacular and structurally ambitious monuments of the ancient world. Take a look at this. This is the Medirigia Wadadagia, and it is an absolute masterpiece. Just notice those elegant, concentric circles of slender stone pillars. They weren't just for decoration. They were part of a really complex structural system. So what exactly is a Wadadagia? Well, you can think of it as this incredibly ornate, protective house built around a smaller, sacred stupa. And those stone pillars you just saw, they would have held up a massive, intricate wooden roof, creating this truly sacred and beautiful space inside. And the sheer scale of their building projects was just immense, spanning centuries and entire dynasties. I mean, you can see here a whole lineage of kings, from the Anuradhapura era all the way to Polonnaruwa, each one commissioning these monumental stupas that would totally define the skyline. The key takeaway here is that this was a sustained, multi-generational effort. But it was never just about building big. The attention to artistic detail was just mind-blowing. This is a Vahalkada, which is kind of a frontispiece on the Kantakacharya stupa. Look at it. Every single surface is just covered in these elaborate stone carvings. It's a perfect marriage of massive engineering and incredibly delicate art. Their architectural vocabulary was also incredibly diverse. On the left, you've got the Thuparama, a Buddhist image house built completely out of brick, and on the right, from the same city, is the Siva Devala, a Hindu temple constructed entirely out of stone. It just shows this remarkable capacity for different building traditions to exist right alongside each other. But here's the thing. Their genius wasn't just reserved for these grand temples and monuments. They applied the exact same sophisticated planning to the infrastructure of daily life, creating a truly advanced urban society. 7. Just let that number sink in for a minute. According to the ancient chronicles, King Parakramabahu's palace was 7 stories tall. Now, even if only the brick foundations survive today, just imagine the ambition and the engineering it would take to build a skyscraper back in the 12th century. And that palace was just one piece of a much bigger urban planning puzzle. They had these magnificent palace complexes like Sigiriya, with intricate water gardens and defensive moats. They built fully equipped hospitals. We found evidence of medicinal dats and surgical tools. And they even paid incredibly close attention to public sanitation. Okay, this part is absolutely fascinating. Their toilets weren't just holes in the ground. They engineered a filtration system using a series of stacked clay pots that would actually clean the wastewater before letting it seep back into the soil. I mean, that shows an unbelievably early understanding of both public health and environmental protection. So when you put it all together, from the super bricks and monsoon-powered furnaces to 7-story palaces and eco-friendly toilets, the Rajarata civilization was a true powerhouse of innovation. Their legacy, even though it's now in ruins, tells this incredible story written in stone. What we see today are the beautiful, kind of haunting skeletons of that ingenuity. Structures like this Bodhigara, which was a protective house for a sacred tree, they still radiate this sense of profound intelligence and artistry, even after centuries of silence. They're a quiet reminder of a truly brilliant, lost world. And that kind of leaves us with one final big thought. We've just seen evidence of technology so advanced that it literally stumped modern experts. So the question is this. If this level of sophisticated knowledge could be lost to time, what other forgotten genius from our ancient past is still out there, just waiting to be rediscovered?